The only fence against the world is a thorough knowledge of it, all mankind being all equal and independent. No one ought to harm another in his life, health, liberty, or possessions. The first step toward satisfying a man's desires is to keep what he has and what is worth more, to increase his possessions if he can. Reading furnishes the mind only with materials of knowledge. It is thinking that makes what we read ours. The end of law is not to abolish or restrain, but to preserve and enlarge freedom, for in all the states of created beings capable of law, where there is no law, there is no freedom. New opinions are always suspected and usually opposed, without any other reason but because they are not already common. Parents wonder why the streams are bitter, when they themselves have poisoned the fountain. Where there is no property, there is no injustice. The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. Education begins the gentleman, but reading, good company, and reflection must finish him. The state of nature has a law of nature to govern it, which obliges every one, and reason, which is that law, teaches all mankind, who will but consult it, that being all equal and independent, no one ought to harm another in his life, health, liberty, or possessions. The actions of men are the best interpreters of their thoughts. The Bible is one of the greatest blessings bestowed by God on the children of man. It has God for its author, salvation for its end, and truth without any mixture for its matter. A sound mind and a sound body is a short but full description of a happy state in this world. It is of great use to the sailor to know the length of his line, though he cannot with it fathom all the depths of the ocean. To love our neighbor as ourselves is such a truth for regulating human society, that by that alone one might determine all the cases in social morality. The reason why men enter into society is the preservation of their property. The power of the legislative, being derived from the people by a positive voluntary grant and institution, can be no other than what that positive grant conveyed, which being only to make laws, and not to make legislators. The legislative can have no power to transfer their authority of making. The great question which, in all ages, has disturbed mankind, and brought on them the greatest part of those mischiefs which have ruined cities, depopulated countries, and disordered the peace of the world, has been not whether there be power in the world, nor whence it came, but who should have it. Freedom of men under government is to have a standing rule to live by, common to every one of that society, and made by the legislative power vested in it. A liberty to follow my own will in all things where that rule prescribes not, and not to be subject to the inconstant, and certain, and known,